Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, a functional purse that can hide your lunch and keep it cool, the stove knob goes blue, and the toilet brush loves lilac. All that more, so sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find crowdfunding projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I am Ktdata, want to have the show, and joining me is the man, soon to be internationally well-known documentator dude, the one and only Drew Tyler. How you doing, my friend?
Yes, I'm good. I shall be soon internationally known.
Is that the correct term? International
Documentarian.
Documentator.
No, documentarian. I think is where you have to go.
All right. I love it. You're literally leaving the country with your wife, which I also think is like
I'm pretty excited about that.
The ultimate awesomeness too. That both of you guys are going to go and film a documentary.
Yes, I'm pretty excited about it. So we're joining a bunch of students who are doing service projects over in Mozambique for a couple of weeks. We're showing up at the tail end to capture some of their work and some of their feelings about working for 3 weeks to serve people over there. So we get to capture that story and bring it back. I'm kind of excited. I love a good, long, strong project, and this one gives me some chances to really stretch. So I'm excited, and to get to work with an award-winning producer. Come on, she's hot too.
Awesome. Woo. She's single?
No, that's my wife.
No, what do you mean? I was like, who are you thinking? I'm like, wait a minute.
With.
Yeah. But I'm excited, and then I'm gonna be like I'm gonna wait until it's like on Netflix or something. I'm like, I know that guy that did that.
I know that guy. I'm hoping it gets that good. Like it'll be a good starter documentary. I've done smaller ones. I've edited somebody else's. I've produced others, but this will be fun because it's kind of all our story. So yeah, I'm excited.
You're not gonna get like crazy and like the next one gonna eat the entire Wendy's menu or something in a month, right?
No, but I do love Morgan Spurlock's style, so maybe I could come up with something.
Actually, I just thought of one. The one we should do is one entirely on bacon.
Who wouldn't watch that? The history of bacon. That's solid. That's good. That's good TV.
I watched the Sriracha one, and so why not one on bacon?
You would.
All right. So if this is your first time watching the show, first of all, welcome to the show. And yes, this is what Drew and I do because I don't get to see Drew that often. So I'm always excited, and especially since you weren't here last episode, I feel like it's been like ages.
It has been a month, hasn't it? Wow. Yeah. So sorry. I'm home.
I'm like, I don't see my buddy, and because I had that harsh realization as I was looking through my social media feeds yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah, it's National Siblings Day. I'm an only child, so
you get nothing.
So yeah, Drew's the closest I have to a true bro. So that's why
I will be your bro.
All right. So before we go into our projects today, we actually have some quick news, and this is an interesting one. And Drew, you've worked semi closely with this company. It's this little website called the Facebook. I guess they're getting into crowdfunding in terms of GoFundMe style, where they call it personal fundraising on Facebook. So what they announced, I think about a week ago, is that now that they're rolling out this personal fundraiser, so pages and nonprofits and stuff, they can actually embed it on their page, so people can donate it to that. And right now they're starting out with a handful of fundraisers. So right now it's education, medical, pet medical, crisis relief, personal emergency, funeral and loss. So you can post that onto your actual Facebook page. And they take about 7% and a $30 and a 30-cent fee? Yeah, 30-cent fee. I always miss that decimal. They wrote it kind of weird. That goes through the processing. And their idea is kind of just to embed crowdfunding right into your feed. How do you feel about this, Drew? Are you looking for something like this in your Facebook feed?
It's super interesting. Like, they do a lot of things on Facebook, but one of the things that they do really well is they connect you with people that you know and care about. Like, it seems like a perfect fit. you already see tons of people that are like, hey, here's a need that we have, and here's the GoFundMe page, right? And you kind of connect it. So making that like native inside of Facebook as an opportunity for you to share and connect with friends and family that are already there, it makes very good sense. In fact, just today I was telling my students they all should have LinkedIn accounts and the LinkedIn Pro accounts. And every time I mention that to a class, one of them goes, "Oh yeah, like I can afford that." And I stop my lecture right in the middle of it and I go, "You look at me. You have friends and family who would love for you to get a real job. So run a GoFundMe that just says, 'Help me pay for my LinkedIn Pro account.'" This would be perfect, right? You put that on your Facebook and you go, "Hey guys, I'm trying to graduate college and then I'm going to need a job." And then you have Facebook right there, a little cause, right? A little pledge that goes right to you for what you need, get you graduated. Anyway, I think it's fantastic. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think maybe stepping on some toes. They're probably, well, not stepping on toes. Right? In business. That's just called being aggressive, taking over another market, right?
Expanding, diversify.
But honestly, I think it's a good move for them. That is, they have eyeballs, they have metrics, they have data galore. Like this is a fantastic thing. I don't know if this was mentioned in here, but they are just now releasing their API for donations in general, for causes and things.
Yeah, right here.
That's kind of what it is.
So what I love about it, and I think it hits close to home for you, is that you can actually have that button on a live stream. They have an example of this where they're raising money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
I was actually, just as a side note, I pitched Children's Miracle Hospital for that exact stream and said, yes, me and my team, we can do that. And I gave them a full pitch and was pretty close to being, to getting it, but they had to move really fast. But that's who they launched this whole thing with. That's really fun. So I was on the front end of that. That's fun. I was right there.
Yeah. I actually like it. And I think it makes sense too, because they're not just saying, hey, I invented this thing and I'm trying to raise money for it. It's the categories that they have right now are more for like, oh crap, life just punched me in the face. Can you help me out? And who's the most likely to help you out other than probably your friends that you have on Facebook, right?
Friends and family. That's who's gonna do it for you.
Yep. And then what you were mentioning too. So I guess I finally got a cave and get a LinkedIn account. I go through this process. Like, I want to know why I don't have a LinkedIn account? It's because every time I'm like, yeah, I should probably set up a LinkedIn account, and then right after I say it, sometimes hours, I'll get an email. So and so's on LinkedIn and wants to connect with you. I'm like, screw it. I don't want this unsolicited spam, so I don't sign up for it.
You can turn off those notifications.
Well, I don't. It's so annoying that I'm like, ugh! So, and that's why I've been boycotting LinkedIn for so long.
Well, if you're not looking, then you don't need it.
That too. I also have a job. So.
That's right. You don't really need to hunt for a job.
I probably don't need the pro one either, but it seems like something I should have. All right. So, this kind of links to our next story in terms of just like signing up for things. So Kickstarter has launched this new feature called guest pledging. So have you been to some of those like more e-commerce sites and stuff where you're like, oh, I want to buy that, but that's the one time you're ever only going to buy that. You're never going to come back to this website and buy like 300 hand soap samples or something. You just like want one, and then you can do the guest checkout, right?
Right. Yep.
So Kickstarter announced that they are now doing guest pledging, which is essentially that you can. So say you're not like a big crowdfunder, and you just maybe your friend's launching a new album, and you're like, yeah, I'll throw them a couple bucks. But that's the only thing I'm ever going to do. You can now do a guest checkout. And then from there, you just got to make sure the key point, the weak point is, since you can't log back in, make sure you put in the right email address so you can get the information and link back to it. And then they also give you the option, of course, to create an account after you've pledged for the first time and keep that stuff. So what's great about it and what's a little bit different is that when guest pledgers do pledge, if you go into your list of backers, it's going to be guest and then some random number that they generated that applies to that person. And you'll be able to contact them that way by sending them messages and stuff. So if you need to do the post backer surveys and stuff, it will still get to them that way. So right now they're available for dance, journalism, theater, and craft. And they're going to slowly expand to all the other categories in the next couple of weeks. Is this something that you were like, man, I really wish Kickstarter had?
Yeah, I didn't miss it, but it's I do what I do. But I like the idea. I like what they're thinking of here.
Yeah, I like it because it creates a lower barrier to entry,
Right.
especially to people who are newer to crowdfunding projects. Where they're like,
Right.
I kind of want to back that, but then they see the sign up process. I'm like, nah. Now they can do it, and then if they want to create the account, that's why I think it's smart for them to put that right at the end, to kind of create a full fledged integration process. But yeah, I do like this. And hopefully, it's going to get more people to back some things because it's more you can be more of a knee jerk backer, I guess.
Right, because it's super easy to be like everybody I know is doing this one. I'll do it too, without really committing to like that lifestyle of backery, like you and I have been sucked into.
Yeah, where I spend lots and lots of money on stuff. Like I've backed 2 different board games already this month. Um, all right. So we don't have any kick shots this month, but again, if you have a project and you want us to mention it on the show, shoot us an email. KickCast at ktdata.net, or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast, or on the Twitters. And we'll, just send us a Twitter length description of your project and we'll mention it on the show.
Yep.
So for our first project, this is gonna seem weird to you because I'm nowhere remotely subject matter expert on this. I think
I laughed when I saw this.
Yeah, I think you may have like fringe knowledge about this.
Oh, no, very fringe. But when I saw this, I guffawed. I was like, oh.
Yeah, but have you ever had this problem when you're like, all right, let's go with the kids to the park or something, right? And you're like, well, I should probably bring some lunch because it's already like 10 and stuff, and I don't want to, take them to McDonald's or something, or it's too far away, right?
Every day, all day.
So you're carrying like the little cooler around, right? And I don't know if you've ever had this problem. Well, I know you don't have this problem because you don't carry a purse, but this seems like a problem. Say if your wife was, does she? I don't even know if your wife carries a purse. To be honest with you,
it's a very small wallet purse, like this big.
But you can't fit lunch in that, right? So
Oh no.
So if that happens, she's probably having the small purse and then another cooler of sandwiches and stuff, right?
We do backpacks because we're college people, so we just all have backpacks.
So our first project tonight is called Isolare, and it is fashionable handbags that
is
have
it French? Isolare.
I guess so. I don't know. This is totally uncharacteristic of me because I know nothing about fashion. If you guys seen how I dress, yeah, I shouldn't be allowed outside. And so they're handbags, but they also have secret insulated compartments so you can have like your lunch or other food stay warm or cold as you go, and you don't have to carry a second bag around.
So it's a sexy cooler?
No, it's still a purse too. It has a compartment for your food, but it also has the purse stuff where
This is really strange.
I think it's a good idea. Like I said, I don't carry around a purse, so I have no idea how useful this is. I just thought it was neat, to be honest.
Well, I remember early days, when kids were young, that we had to, you'd carry a lot of milk with you, and so if you had actual like pumped breast milk, you want to keep that fresh. So we'd carry ice packets and things to keep it cool. But so this is a like foiled cooler section in the bottom of a fancy purse.
Yeah. And what I like about it is, and like again, I have zero expertise in this, that it doesn't look like you're carrying around a cooler. I mean, when you go to the park or the beach, you see when somebody's carrying around a cooler, even no matter how stylish it is, you're like, yeah, that's a cooler.
Right. They're not stylish.
Yeah, these are kind of more hidden. So like, if you looked at this bag closed, you probably couldn't tell there was a cooler at the bottom. And yeah, I have no idea if there's a need for this or not. I just thought it was kind of neat. They have the satchels, crossbody, which is I guess a messenger bag. I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some more satchels. Mia hobo.
I don't know the hobo one.
What's the difference? I have no idea the difference between a hobo and a tote. And then speaking of backpack, there's a backpack version. Would you carry this around?
Oh yeah. I mean that's a lady's backpack, but
yeah.
But I would, because here's my problem. I often will take my my lunch to school. But like if I teach at 7:30 or if I forget to pull my food out of my bag, in fact, this is probably like an every other day occurrence. It will stay in my backpack, just my like food out of the fridge and a Tupperware. It'll stay in my backpack for probably 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll be like, oh, "Is this even safe now? I don't know."
Yeah.
So that's what I would totally do that because then at least I buy myself a couple hours.
Yeah, and so what the other cool thing is 5% of every bag sale that they make actually goes to a community charity. Right now, the current one is Eastside Academy, a nonprofit alternative high schools whose mission is inspiring change in the lives of at-risk youth through high school education, counseling, recovery, and housing and life skills programs. So, not only are you getting a cool bag that can do stuff, you're also helping out a local community, which I think is in Seattle. Yep, in Seattle. Like I said, I've never had to carry a purse in my life, so I have no idea if this is useful or practical or whatsoever. I just think it's a great idea. Does this look like something you'd get as a gift for someone?
Possibly. Like I really do like the idea. I was really on board until I just watched a little bit of the video, and at the very end, I think she opens up the bottom of one of the bags and slides in a single banana. I was like, I don't know, but there's got to be like more important things in your life that you're packing around than a single banana. Like,
I don't know. You don't.
Okay.
Well, you don't want the banana to get crushed, right?
It wouldn't get crushed. So there's a matter. They come in pretty costly, like way more than a cooler. Like I don't mind looking like a dork if I'm carrying around like a $30-$40 cooler while I'm going to the park or doing things. This must be really for like classy people because I cannot imagine.
I mean, like fashionable stuff's always expensive, right? Like,
right. And that's why I'm not fashionable, and maybe that's why you and I both just are like, that's not us.
Yeah,
$140 for a purse by itself, even if it were like a really nice purse, is strange to me.
Well, I know people who spend that much for a purse, right? Like
the only thing this is missing is Bluetooth.
Yes.
Why do we have...
so that way, if you leave your $134 purse somewhere, you'll know you left it, and you can go back and get it.
Yes, that for at least $134. But I do love the idea. I think it's a fantastic idea that somebody said, "Hey, you're going to be carrying this part around anyway. Why not put in the cooler and the cooling part, build it into the purse, and then you look classy when you're pulling the Cheerios out for the kid in the middle of church or something." It's like, I got my fancy purse and the Cheerios are cold.
No, you don't. See, you don't even have to carry dry food now. You can like carry like fruit and keep it cool.
So you can have, like,
so you pull out the carrots and the ranch, and you can just go to town in the middle of church. No one's gonna notice.
This is a track for me. Like it's way out of my league, and I just don't think I feel comfortable putting money towards a purse this size.
Yeah,
this amount.
For me, it's a track with a question mark because I have no idea if like somebody who would use a purse would think these are fashionable. Like it looks like a purse to me.
Oh my gosh! Don't read the chat. Rev's adding in 2 cents.
We'll just leave it there. All right, so let's go on to let's go on to our next project where at least we sort of have some knowledge on this.
Yeah, this one I know all about it, but I'm still a little confused by it. So because
you're slowly smart homifying, right?
Yes, I like the way you put that. I am bit by bit smart homifying. Wait, homo. I have a Nest. I have cool light bulbs that I spent my special Christmas money on because I thought it was so dang cool that I could tell Alexa to turn on my lights. This morning, I got to class. I teach at 7:30 in the morning, so I get to class, and I had turned on the Bluetooth speaker before I left. So right before I started class, I on my app on my phone, I triggered the song, and Alexa played Reveille to wake up all the kids. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So like full volume PA system, kids are sleeping, and they get. Anyway, I was really proud of myself. So onto the smart homifying project. This one is called the Clove Knob, which is supposed to make your stove smart and safe. I still have some questions, but from what I understand, the Clove Knob is like a built-in timer that's far more accurate than like punching the buttons. So on one level, I'm like, okay, you solved a little bit of a problem, but at the same time, I'm like, it wasn't that big of a problem. Like if I forget to punch in like how much time has gone by since I started the burner, not a big deal. So let me tell you what this project is. Take a look. The Clove Knob is essentially you take off the knob off your oven or your stovetop, and you put their knob on, and you calibrate it. So their knob knows where, like, when it's off, it knows when it's on simmer, and it knows when it's on like full blast. And because it knows that, it connects to an app that
Can I also ask how you make a pizza on a stovetop? or does this work for the oven one too? I guess
it works for the oven too. It'll go for the oven too. Because it's any of those knobs that you're turning on, right?
Okay, so that makes sense. I was a little confused when I saw the pizza there.
No, if your oven has a knob, like mine is touchscreen, so then it's like harder for the oven part.
You're all fancy now, like.
When
are you gonna be like, Alexa, 365, please, broiler?
Well, see, I'm hoping to get there at some point, and I really thought when I started looking at Clove Knob that maybe this was kind of getting there close, where it could be like, Alexa, turn on the stove or something like that. Like, that is totally dangerous, and it should never happen. But I was hopeful that it might happen. However, here's all it does. It does connect with Alexa and Google Smart Home, and you can basically say things like, I'm making pizza, or I'm making spaghetti, and it will give you like a voice guided recipe. So you don't have to like flip through recipes. It has like voice guided recipes. I'm not sure how that works. It didn't seem like it was very clear to me. Like, my hands are always messy, so when I reach over and start like messing with the iPad or something to be like, okay, next thing, it's just getting messy. Where if I could just be like, Alexa, what's the next step? And she told me, that would be kind of cool. But then the knob.
Aren't that what kids for?
Yeah. Can you, hey, scroll that up for me? Hey, no, because they want to cook. Every one of my kids is like, hey, Dad, I want to do this, and I'm like, no, you're gonna mess it up. So what I can't figure out with this is that, like, so it doesn't control your knob. It merely is a sensor that gives feedback back to Alexa, and it knows how long it's been on. And so if you say, I'm cooking spaghetti, hey, Alexa, whatever smart cooking app, I'm cooking spaghetti. It knows that it's like 7 or 8 minutes, and it knows what you like. And because it knows when the knob is turned on, it knows like whether it's on simmer or it's on full. And then the alert on your app will come in, and it'll basically say, all right, time's up. Because it actually is counting like the actual like moment that the stove is heated and on. Now, they make this big push like, you can, live your life while your food is cooking, and you don't have to be distracted because you're on the phone. But I have a giant timer that beeps, and that tells me to stop doing what I'm doing and go back to the cooking. So I don't know how that's any different than getting it on my phone and getting like a beep, 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 and looking at it and going, oh, yep, my food is done. So the fun parts of it, though I may not understand it all, the fun parts of it are it will get smarter with time. It does know kind of what you like, and so if you cook pizza a second and third time, it'll know, okay, well, he pulled it out at 14 minutes last time, or he left it in for an extra 2 minutes last time, and it'll adjust to that because it knows again where that knob is sitting. So it knows. I was about to say if you've been bad or good, but that's Santa Claus. It knows what your stove is doing. It does have this nice safety feature that if you for some reason are walking out of the house and your knob is turned on, it will alert you on the phone and say, whoa, like a geofence. It's like, you're leaving the house. Are you sure you want to leave your burner on? So I've never left my burner on.
You know how useless that is for me because I keep my phone on silent 90% of the time.
So you're like an hour away and you flip it open. You're like, oh. Crap, there goes my house. So I don't know. There's some things I don't quite understand, but I like where it's going. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I like where it's going. I think the idea is fun. I really, really wish that it was like full on Alexa, turn my knobs for me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see where, like, it seems like the underlying technology is kind of cool, but I think their marketing message is kind of weird.
It was difficult for me to follow. Honestly, it was a little difficult to be like, what?
Yeah, it's because I actually saw something similar to this at CES this year, and it was from the guy who made the smart pillbox, where the pillbox would send and his approach was that the pillbox it sends you reminders, and then say if you haven't opened the pillbox in an hour's time, it will notify somebody else so they can check on the person
right.
and stuff.
Yeah, safety.
So his oven stove knob is kind of an extension of it. So you don't calibrate it. It knows when the stove's on and when it's off. That's it. But what it does is it integrates into that same notification system where it'll be like, hey, your stove's still on after like 15 minutes or so, something like that. And, if you set it for 40 minutes and then it's still on, it can send it to like, say if you have, more elderly grandparents that are living by themselves still, and you want to put that on. So that way, and you can keep an eye on them just in case they forgot to turn off the stove or something like that. That makes a little bit more sense. This, like, the recipe stuff is kind of like weird because, can't you do this with your phone right now already? Go
timer.
Just
like,
go,
hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. That's as easy. This is voice activated too, but that's kind of like feels a little convoluted with their like your spaghetti. Like I'm gonna cook dry pasta or what? You're trying to figure out
what if you don't like the recipe?
Exactly. I don't know if I can put any recipe in there, and if I can, how does it know? Like, can I ask it and be like, all right, what's the next step? So I'm a little confused. I'm with you. I think the marketing message is a little like varied. It's not like a one-trick pony. It's got voice activation plus knob recognition plus warnings and safeties. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and FYI, if you do get this and you like take off your stove knob, I learned this from the guy from who made the pillbox, because he had a knob cover and his device there, but it was under glass and there was only one. And I asked him, how come you only have one? He's like, because I took this off my hotel room stove.
You told me that. You took the hotel knob.
Because my wife would not let me take the one that I have at home. And apparently, to get these covers, you have to special order them. So he's like, I went to Home Depot, they didn't have any, so I just took this off my thing. So don't lose those, or you're gonna have a fun time trying to replace that.
That's so funny. Well, that is the Clove Knob.
Yeah, this one's a
number 2
track for me, just because it seems a little too complicated. It does add. Is this Bluetooth? At the same time,
it's not complicated enough. Like it's complicated, but it's like me trying to figure out what it does is the complicated part. As far as I understand it, you can talk to it, but yet you still have to turn your knob and still turn on your phone, and it will. It's a timer. It's like a built-in timer instead of punching buttons.
Yeah. What's the battery life on this thing?
I did see that, and it was days. I did see that.
It's rechargeable, right? Because it would
30 months.
It would suck if these. It seems like it's one of those one and done ones too.
The battery says user replaceable battery, but it'll hold for about 30 months, which is what is that? Almost 3 years.
Yeah, Rev's right. Rev's right. It doesn't even have an LED or anything. That would make it better. Just make it, because I know the light on my stove. If I'm not paying attention, I can totally miss it. So having it on the actual knob, that could help, I guess.
Well, did you know that I had a grill that for almost probably 3 or 4 years, like the tail end of its life, I lit with a lighter stick.
Yeah.
Until I like dismantled the grill and was like taking it away because I was done with it. I lit it with a lighter stick because my self-igniter had stopped working at some point. Not realizing that a year and a half, maybe 3 years before that, I'd put a AA battery in the igniter. Like it was built on a battery. And I just never unscrewed it. And went, oh, it's a battery that just ran out. So I was hand lighting this thing for years because I forgot that the battery was there.
Huh.
Special.
The funny thing is, you remind me, I probably should check that on my aunts.
Yes,
because we've been hand lighting it too, and I'm like, well, I think the igniter's dead, and I'm too lazy to replace it.
It's a AA battery in most of them that's just sitting there behind the punch button. Check it out.
All right. So let's see. We've done lunch, cooking lunch, and now we'll do the tail end of the food in the bathroom. Are you the one who cleans the toilet, or
I should be that one. Yes, I should be.
So like the toilet brush is always an interesting thing because I go look in mine. I have the toilet brush, and then I have the the little spray bleach thingy, right, that you put on it. And the thing that I don't like about those bottles are like you just turn them over and the bleach just like starts spraying out automatically, and you don't have that a lot of that kind of control on where you want that to go. So when you're brushing, you're like, this, this would be so much.
I'm feeling this one. This is my pain.
This would be so much easier if I had a little bit more control on it. So our last project of the night, and keep in mind, you guys voted for this. I was hoping the pet communicator one made it, but you guys voted for this. It is the 3-in-1 toilet cleaning system. So what it is a toilet brush, and then at the end of it, it has a little nozzle, so you can fill up the handle with. They want you to use their specialized toilet wash thing. I'm hoping that they'll in the future let you just put in your stuff. But what you can do with that is it has a little spray nozzle, and then you can control when you spray it into the bowl, and use the brush to clean it and all that good stuff with it. So it's pretty simple in terms of execution, because that's really what it is. What's nice about it too is that the brush, you can unscrew it and replace that if you want to. So you're not like buying a whole new one when the brush part wears out. And part of it is their special formulation that has like lilac or something in it, and that's supposed to kill a lot of smells and stuff that you may be getting in the toilet.
Lilac is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. When my lilacs bloomed last week, I stood there and just sniffed them for like 10 minutes.
So
I don't know what that has to do with cleaning toilets, but if they say it's clean, it's clean.
Well, like, yeah, that's the interesting thing about this is they're not just selling the brush; they're selling their washing fluid type thing for the bowl too. And that's why I brought up the lilac, because they mentioned it. It's like our special patented lilac thing. Supposedly, if once you fill up the reservoir with their stuff, it lasts for about 80 sprays or 80 days. And I like it.
I clean my toilet every 80 days, so is it like one cleaning?
Yeah, it says the smell of lilac perfume, known for being most effective in eliminating odors, will keep your bathroom fresh for all day.
Okay, if my bathroom smelled like anything lilac, I would spend even more time in the bathroom. I love lilac smell. I would love to have a lilac toilet. I love this idea.
Yeah, no, I like it because it's just one of those that are just like, it's a simple idea. It's a toilet brush that can spray toilet cleaner out of it. But I also like the ergonomics too, because it has the little, if you look at the handle right here, it's not like you would think it's a button, right? No, but it's more like a spray bottle handle. So I feel like that can give you a better control on how much you're spraying in areas too. Because I know when I'm using the Clorox whatever, it's just like oh great. So yeah, I like this idea. This one's definitely a back for me. I'm not too keen on them like trying to sell the detergent. I really wish they would just say, hey, you can pour whatever detergent you want in. As I'm not gonna lie to you,
but if it's lilac, it just wins. Like that's it. That's all you need.
And it's a little pricey for the toilet brush. I think it's about $20, or $50 if you want to get 3 of them. And they're like, do you see yourself getting one of these just because?
Peach has brushes, and we've had our share of brushes around. And then she went to IKEA and found that their toilet brushes are $1 a piece, and so she bought like 9 of them.
Yeah, that's
so I have like oodles and oodles of IKEA brushes, so that when something gets dirty or it's time to like switch out every month, I can have a new toilet brush every month. So $20 gets a little pricey, but this one is. I mean, it has the cleaner, it has the squirter, it smells like lilacs. I am definitely going to pitch this to her and see if she can't see my way, because I really want.
Because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I have the IKEA one. It's kind of like not the nicest toilet brush.
Oh no,
either.
it's like plastic with like scrubby end. Maybe that's it.
And like when I'm using it, sometimes I'm like, is this really being efficient? Just like, I don't know. And I like Revs where it's like you clean your toilet every 80 days. Your wife cleans it 3 times a week. that may be true. That may be true.
I'm sorry. It's so true. Thanks, Rev. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's because you're spending the rest of your time being the awesomest husband ever that she's like, I'll let this one slide.
That's what it is. I'm so busy.
You're busy like being awesome, like taking her to go see plays and stuff, and
Yeah, I'm a good man.
All that. So yeah, this one's a back for me. they still have a ways to go. They only have $425 right now, and they're looking for $15,000.
But they've got a month.
Yeah, they got a month.
I think they're doing everything right. Like this must be like an early launch. You know, we're early on the front end, but
yeah, I think it launched today.
I think they're doing it right. Like it seems like they've got some good marketing, some good branding. Like there's a good chance this is going somewhere.
Yeah, and you know who doesn't need more stuff? I mean, maybe could you add Bluetooth to a toilet brush?
Maybe it could like gauge exactly how dirty, and then it would keep track of a graph that would be like, in the last 3 months, you'll notice that your dirtiest days are on Wednesdays.
Yeah, well, it could remind you haven't cleaned your toilet in like a week.
Your wife hasn't scrubbed it in this 3 times this week. You're up. Your 80 days is up, buddy.
Or actually, I know what you're waiting for it to have Wi-Fi, and then you're like, Alexa, clean the toilet, and it just like automatically goes.
Somehow just scrubs Alexa, clean the toilet. It's exactly what Rev said. Alexa, clean the toilet. I like that.
All right, so now it is time for our sack of the week.
Excited about this.
So, Drew, you're a pasty white guy, right?
Yeah.
Summer's coming up. How bad do you burn?
I stay out of the sun is what I do because I'm lazy.
I know that's what I do.
but no, I burn pretty quick and easy. Yeah.
So this our sack of the week is called the magnet shade. It's sun protection, and it's shaped cloth with magnets sewn into it, so you can cover your ears and neck, and it attaches to your baseball cap.
Oh wow!
So
somebody's been thinking.
So here's your baseball cap, and you know you just attach it to the back, and there you go.
Somebody's been thinking. This is a brilliant idea. It looks hideous in this picture, but I like the idea.
What, you're not a camo kind of guy?
I hate camo.
But the reason I mentioned it, I mean, this is cool. Nice. You know, he has the kids and stuff. Your neck and your ear. And he does a pretty good description of them. 50 or 100. What I was worried about is this is his entire description. Like he assumes you're gonna watch the video, and then and then he just has a paragraph there. And there's no pictures and stuff or anything like that. At least I like how he's honest. This Kickstarter test is the beginning, so he's trying to see if there's a market for it. But I don't think I'd pay $25 for this.
No, so it's just magnets around your hat, right?
Yeah, or a cloth that has magnets, and then you have to put magnets in your hat to.
Yeah, so it does seem to be a little on the higher end, but honestly, like back in ears and neck is where I get burnt the most, and so fashionable, no, but functional.
Yeah. That was my, like, honestly, you know, he has a video, and he's smart because he's only looking for $100, so he's testing the market.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at, man, it's like, add some more descriptions to this, because if I don't want to watch your video, which is, I mean, what is it? It's a 3-minute video, so some people don't watch that. You know, show me a picture that I know you have a prototype because you're showing it in the video.
Right, give me some shots of that.
Give me some a little bit more information. And I don't like people who put one sentences also in risks and challenges. We risk being late on delivery in the event of larger than expected custom orders. It's like,
yeah, $25 is a lot.
Yeah. And I just like, I never understand people who don't put the $1 level in here. He puts a $5 letter where you get a signed letter.
Signed letter?
Yeah. By his 2 sons.
Oh, well, in that case.
But I always encourage people, do that $1 level no matter what, because it's just like that low barrier of entry where some people are like, yeah, I'll give you $1. Like if he had that, I'd be tempted to give him $1 right now.
Right, because friends and family can do that, and they can give the $1 and feel like, okay, I've supported you to some extent, and they're guilt free, and you're $1 richer. So it's not a bad idea. I have to say, like, I like the idea and the concept. I just wish there was a way more like fashionable, sexy way to do it.
Well, I think his kids have like different fabrics and stuff, and this is what worries me is that I didn't watch his full video because I was like, I'm not interested.
It seems like add a mullet is what it is. Like $25, you can have your own mullet. That's where I'm at.
Oh, maybe I should grow a mullet. I think that's it.
You look fantastic, the Asian mullet.
Can I pull that off?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
well, actually, how would that accentuate my headphones? Because that's my whole life revolves around that. So they'd have to accent the
like
headphones.
Bieber hair, where it just like flows out everywhere over the top of everything. So I'm also a little concerned that even though he has this video and he shows this off for like 3 minutes, it's shot in like the middle of the most lived-in space that he has. Like there's still clothes folded on the couch, I think, and a half bed made on a couch with a pillow. So it feels like a test for sure. But
yeah, I think all of these are custom made, which he does not mention anywhere in the in his description. And I checked it. We are raising funds to make this a real business where we can mass produce this product and buy sports teams licensing to be able to mass produce sports themed shades. I mean, sure, you can write that down, but show me a mock-up. Show me something a little bit more substantial than just writing it, right?
Right.
Because especially if you're pitching at this, we're trying to make a business. I want to see, if you're gonna pitch this as we're testing the market to be a business, show me your business model. Show me something more than just a line of text.
Well, and I think that he's missed one of the key things that you and I always talk about is that he's probably into this almost 4 days. And there's no backers, not even himself.
And he had 60
traction.
days. That's a long time for this,
And there's no traction. Like, who knows, what kind of like PR he's done before this or marketing. Like, he hasn't told anybody about this. It's not a build it, they will come moment. Yeah. I don't even know how you found this, but he's got to do something to get people like over here and looking at this. You can't just post it up and walk away. Like you gotta work.
Yeah, especially if you want to test your model, you'd think you'd do some user testing and polling right before you go live. And like, I don't know, what do you think is a good time in terms of trying to figure out how long to do? If you're gonna do a business model test, I feel like 60 days, 56 days, 60 days is a little too long for that, right? Like a month at most.
Yeah, and that's what makes me think that he's actually just doing this like, hey, I'll put it up there and see if I can make $100 and throw a couple of these out. Like, no, man, you need an Etsy for that. Like, this isn't quite the way to get it done. So, this is the second time he's ran it. He ran it back in February as well.
Wow. Yeah. That's not a good sign because that one probably wasn't successful, right? Yeah.
No, he wanted out of 225 and it did not land. And they were $30 or more. Although he has pictures of it on that one. He has actually pictures.
Well, that's weird then.
Have you seen this? No, he has pictures. He has more like
I'm looking
coverage,
at it. Like
more write-ups.
This like, why just copy and paste, right?
Why, yeah,
you can do that, can't you? Like it even has a Red Sox prototype. I mean, I totally would have gone for that. Yeah.
I mean, again, 0 backers, and it probably, I don't know how long it ran, but there's
and like the story in the write-up seems a little bit more, involved.
He really probably has it in the wrong place. I think that while it's a great fun idea, he needs to get like a landing page of his own and get it out there in social medias and AdWords, Facebook ads, and other places like Etsy's that he's able to drive traffic.
Yeah, go to a craft fair with these. I have a feeling these would do probably fairly well at a craft fair,
right?
Especially an outdoor craft fair,
baseball games and otherwise. Anyway, all right, we've torn them apart.
Yep.
I'm so sorry, Jesse.
Sorry, Jesse. And I'm sorry to you guys because that is the end of this episode of the KickCast. We want to hear from you. If you have any sacks of the weeks, any projects you want to talk about, or a kick shot you want us to mention, shoot us an email, kickcast@ktdata.net, or leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast, or on Twitter, where you get to see inside the lives of both Drew and I. So night 20 for Drew, at KTData for myself, and at KickCast for the show. I'm assuming, when are you actually headed out to Africa?
It's I will be like on a plane in about 5 weeks. So pretty soon.
And hopefully you'll have Wi-Fi or some kind of data plan where you'll just be taking pictures, right?
Yes, I really do want to share a lot of what I do because I'm excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. Drew, you got anything to plug before we go?
Let's see. Nope, I got nothing.
So wait 5 weeks for the documentary, and you'll see Drew's gonna edit it in like super real time, and it's gonna be like graded and like get crazy cool. Like, who are you gonna get? Morgan Freeman as your voiceover?
That would be awesome. No, we're gonna try and do without voiceover, but if we have to, we'll hire I have enough.
You're gonna hire Morgan Freeman?
Well, I have enough friends in high places. I think it would totally voice over for me if I asked them. I can pull in a couple of favors for that.
This is Drew trying to be polite, saying that he does know Morgan Freeman.
Fine, I'm calling Morgan in.
All right, guys. Make sure you guys, if you watch live, we always love it when people watch live, and that was the only place you'll see what Rev said in his comments. Our next live episode is going to be April 25th, 2017, and you can find that at twitch.tv/Ktdata. So we will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all.